Hey everybody, it's Tony here, and I'm actually haven't been keeping up with my reviews of stuff. I say stuff because I don't just review apps, and so yeah, I'm actually gonna do something a little bit different today. It's something that I actually use, or I'm trying to get used to using it on a daily basis, which is my good old Nintendo DSi. Not the XL. I didn't get the XL. This is actually the Japanese version. You can see. Yeah. And what I'm reviewing today is my Japanese coach, which is I guess a software slash game for the DS and DSi. So you can learn how to speak Japanese. Theoretically, I mean, there's so many of these software out there that helps you or attempts to teach you Japanese. And I've tried a few. I haven't tried Rosetta Stone, but that's supposed to be the one that everybody recommends. As you can tell, it's got some really cheesy Japanese music, which or Asian music, not necessarily Japanese. I mean, it sounds. I guess it's supposed to be Japanese, but um, I started a while back when I first got this. Back in '08, I guess, or yeah, end of '08, and I got busy with work and stuff, and I just never really got back into it until a few days ago, and so I'm still in like lesson. I went back to lesson one. I was in lesson two, and basically it goes through and it teaches you a few things about pronunciation. And the good thing about this, and the reason that you want to buy a DS or DSi or DSi XL in the first place would be for the dual screen, which the bottom one is touchscreen. So that's very useful when you're learning how to write. And I'm just pulling up a lesson here. So I don't know if you can tell from the camera. So this is a lesson in numbers, and what you can do is you can listen to the. So you can do this. So you can listen to this.
1、2、3、4、
So you can actually listen to how to pronounce
5、
it. You could learn how to write it. So when you're in the writing mode, which is really cool, is it shows you how it's done or how it's written, and then you go ahead and you write it. So I'll go ahead and write it here. Excuse my ghetto writing. So this is my writing, and you could do compare and then overlay my handwriting, which is in gray, versus the black. So that's pretty cool, and you can just clear and you can redo it, and then you can compare. So that's really cool. And another thing you could do with this is you could so there's listening and there's speak, and when you do the speak mode, what you do is there's a little recorder, so you get to record each. So you can see up here, there's actually sound waves, and you can compare it to the uh, the correct pronunciation, and you can play just yours together, and yeah. So if I do together,
1、
so you can hear it, it's mine and her voice. The only potential problem I could see in this program in the future, I mean, as you advance you go on and you learn more words and grammars and whatnot. It's a female voice, and for those of you who know Japanese or learned Japanese before, um, you're gonna end up talking like a girl. Maybe not so much. I'm not sure the grammar in the game, like how the grammar is structured, but I know in Japanese, certain ways of speaking, maybe pronunciation and things like grammar. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but it's different between male and female. So you might end up in a situation where you talk like a girl. So that might be the downside to this. But other than that, so far in lesson one, it's pretty good. So and it's kind of fun. There's mini games. The mini games I don't really understand. They're like whack a mole. So you'll get a mole will pop up and then with a word, and you're supposed to tap the one that has the correct word. It doesn't really help me learning the word. I mean, I spend more time in the writing mode, and that helps a lot in the writing mode. So this is really cool. This is another reason to get one. There's other stuff that I've tried. I bought a book, a traditional book, not ebook, and I started reading it. I'm in the first chapter. I'm not sure where the book is, but yeah. I mean, this is always not as detailed as reading a book, and so, but this is more interactive and more fun. So if you want to try to learn some Japanese words, I recommend this. If you already have a DS, if you don't go and spend 150 or however much they are now on a DS and then buy the game. The game is like $29.99, I think, but so it's a good tool if you have a DS and you want to learn some Japanese. I'm not sure how advanced this goes, but so far the way the games are, the mini games and the interface, it's pretty elementary. So I would have to use it a little bit longer and come back and see and let you guys know how advanced it gets later on in other lessons. So that's my short review of my Japanese coach for the DS. And I'm actually using also in conjunction to this an app for the iPhone called Human Japanese. And this one reads more like a textbook. And so if you like grammatical textbook more, Human Japanese might be the one for you. But I would say just use a bunch of different ones, different sources, just so you're more familiar with the language. And I mean, I personally think pronunciation and grammar is very important. Also writing. So anything that has all three is good in my book. So maybe that's why a textbook won't be so useful in these days. So you can see this is more like a textbook, and you could believe you can tap on them.
私、私、
So it
あな
talks.
た、車、
Karuma, Watashi, Anata.
So you can see that this is telling you how a native speaker would pronounce the word and how a foreigner would pronounce the word. But then again, this app also has an issue that you run into where all the voices that you hear are female, and you're gonna end up pronouncing things like a girl. So, but yeah, this one's pretty good. So I recommend this as well. I can't remember how much it is. It was not 99 cents. I think it was. I bought it when it first came out, so it must have been